How's it going, y'all? This is your man, the myth, and the measure. Yes, that's me, King Will.
And it's your girl Jess.
And this is the At the Buzzer show. And we have our special guests from the Shannon Management Group. We have Ro, Henry, and Oliver. Welcome, y'all. We thank y'all for coming.
Thank you so
What's
much.
going on, y'all? How y'all doing?
Doing
well.
good. So we have Ro, Henry, and Oliver here. They're right now in Vegas, checking out the NBA Summer League. This Shannon Management Group is a management group that handles NBA, NFL, and FIBA agents, and we're coming here to kind of get in some insight of how that works. So, First of all, we give y'all a little introduction. We like to give y'all your flowers. So start off and give us some flowers. Let us know about what Shannon Management Group and how y'all got started.
Yes, sir, man. Thank you very much. I'm Rolando Shannon, man, from Nashville, Tennessee. I always dreamed of being a sports agent growing up as a youngster. Was fortunate enough to get my master's back in 2015. Took a few years. Started law school, dibbled and dabbled in it. Found out I didn't really need it to go and get my sports agent license. So I began to take the test for the NFL in 2018. But my love was always in basketball. I was a football player. So with me being a football player, did NFL first, had some success. Of course, COVID hit. Things slowed down, a little bit, but at the same time, it picked up. And then was fortunate enough to get my NBA license in 2015 with my partner Henry, and we've been rocking ever since.
Okay.
Yeah, sounds good.
I would say my other guests, Oliver and Henry. Do y'all want to tell me how y'all kind of got into the business, how y'all got started?
Yeah. So my name is Oliver. I went to UNC. I'm originally from China. My career goal is definitely trying to be a sports agent. I really hope to bring NBA veteran players from US to China to play overseas, especially my home country. That's where my background and connection are. And I really hope to help some rookie players from China or from Taiwan to get to the NBA or American League to play more competitive, to play in a bigger stage for them.
Okay.
Nice.
Henry had a quick emergency real quick. He'll be right back, though.
Oh.
Okay, no problem. No problem at all. So that's good. That's good to hear. So one of the questions I had is, into the agent's world, what is kind of like the ins and outs? A lot of us think we know what an agent does, probably from watching Jerry Maguire and all other kind of agents. But from y'all, what is the ins and outs of an agent? How is the life of an agent?
So essentially, man, what an agent does, we negotiate your contracts. We try to keep up and help you maintain your healthy living, healthy lifestyle while you're still playing. A lot of people feel like an agency is a job placement service. So they feel like if I sign with an agent, you're going to find me a job. And that's not necessarily the case, right? So like your talent, you are going to get you the job as an athlete. There's nothing that we can do primarily that is going to get you a job. I mean, maybe in some cases we've seen recently where, and it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Some guys got into the league based upon, their relationships and things like that. But for the most part, it's really dependent upon talent, right? So, like, we essentially negotiate your contracts, help you with career management, help you with post-career management, help you understand numbers. We look out for you. I personally don't get too much into finances because I feel like that's a really sensitive subject. When you get too much into finances, things can go left. I don't want that to happen with me, so therefore, I try to stay out of that aspect of it, but every other aspect we potentially help you with.
Okay. You got a question, Jess?
No, when you said UNC, you went to the University of North Carolina, like the baby blue?
Sorry, I see. Oh, yeah, I went to UNC.
Oh,
okay.
I guess that's okay.
She Duke fan.
She a Duke fan.
She a Duke fan.
I'm rocking my UNC shirt now. So.
I see. How rude. I'm just playing.
we got Henry back on the phone.
Oh, okay, cool.
Hey, how you doing, Henry? So what we was asking was, what kind of got you into the agent business? We out here giving our flowers, so kind of introduce yourself and how did you get into the agent business?
Henry Washington, Nashville, Tennessee. Graduated from Tennessee State University. What got me in the agent business, man, I just got tired of seeing athletes go broke 2 to 5 years after they get through playing, and the majority of them look like me. 30 for 30 specials come out. They're a lot of them just mismanaging their money, being taken advantage of. So I got into it to try to bring some integrity into the business, to to build generational wealth, because I'm tired of seeing our people not not progressing and not going forward with this thing after making hundreds of millions of dollars.
Ooh.
Absolutely. Now, I would say I definitely know what you mean from watching that the documentary, 30-30 documentary. I believe you talking about Broke, where it was showing how them athletes were going broke years later. But go ahead, Ro.
I was saying we're really big into that, man. So as a young athlete, you change generations with your wealth, right? So you're getting a ton of money early, but it also changes your lifestyle. A lot of young guys don't realize that you're changing your lifestyle and you're getting a lot of money, but that's really, really temporarily. The average career lifespan for NBA is probably somewhere between 8 to 12 years. For NBA, for NFL, it's like 4 years. So you're getting that large, substantial amount of money, but in the grand scheme of your life, you plan to live, hopefully, Lewis will, 70, 80, 90, maybe more years old. Those 10 to 12, 4 years aren't really much. So you have to learn how to strategically manage your money and things like that. So I mentioned earlier that we don't really dabble too much into the financial aspect of it, but we also want to make sure we're educating, right? So we do educate on that. We just don't do much management with it. So I probably worded that wrong initially. It's like we really do help with it as far as education-wise, but management, you have to manage your own money. We can only give you the advice and we can only lead you to the water, but you have to drink.
Absolutely. That was the analogy I was thinking. You're educating the athletes and letting them know the best ways to make the best decisions with their money. But at the end of the day, it's up to you to understand the knowledge and do it for yourself.
It's like trying to put them put them on the right path. With me, I graduated with my degree in accounting. So I'm real good with numbers, real good financially with the money side of it. So again, I'm not a financial advisor. I can say, hey, if I had this is what I would do. Now you go do your research on that, look into that. If you need help, go seek out your own financial advisor. Go seek your own financial plan. However, make sure that's the right person for you. Don't just go get Joe Blow off the street just because they say, yeah, I can deal with money, I done this, so on and so forth. Like, pull their card, check their records. Like, okay, you manage that. Say if they tell you, yeah, I manage a $100 million trust fund. Okay, show me. Like, just don't take their word for it. Because that's what happened with a lot of these athletes. They get these guys to come out of nowhere and they be like, yeah, I've managed this, I've managed that, I've worked with this guy, I've worked with that, but they're not checking their credentials, they're not checking the backside of it. So that's my whole goal is, all right, now it's like me giving you homework as an adult. Like giving them assignments, because at the end of the day, these kids are still from 18 to 25. 18 to 25 with hundreds of $millions. If I was to ask one of y'all, if I gave y'all $100 million at that age, what would you do with that money? If you had nobody to teach you what to do with that money, and you wanted everything you've seen at that age, you're going to go buy everything you've seen, right?
Yep.
You're not going to think, okay, when I get 35, 40, 45, 50, what am I living on now? Because I spent all my money when I was 18 to 25. Yep. So it's all like giving them homework to it, putting it up in trust funds. You don't have to touch that money right now. Let it build wealth over years. Go to those big financial institutions that you can put that money in that grows interest, like depending on how much money you put in. Because I know, like with one bank, I think it's Stanley Morgan. If you put $20,000 in every 90 days, you get $3,000. You don't that $20,000. You don't need that money right now in your pocket. You're not gonna do nothing with it. And then also, learn which money to use. You don't have to spend your game checks. Get your marketing dollars. Spend your marketing money. Like, you can set it up different ways to set yourself up, to set your kids up. So if we in 2024, they still talking about what you did in 2144. Like my great grandfather or great grandmother, because women are taking over the sports world as well now. You got some high profile women athletes, so they can go back to say 2020 in 2024. My great, in 2144, my great grandmother in 2024 did right with the money, built this foundation for us, and that's why we living comfortably like we are now.
Right.
And that made me get to a page of thinking about it with the NIL money. With now so many youth now getting the money early, getting the bag early. It used to be you had to wait till 20, 21, 22, but now we have NIL where kids are now getting the bag maybe as young as 16, 17, depending on what high school state you live in. So how much do you think the NIL culture is also changing the dynamic for the needs for agents and managers now to teach these kids how to manage this money properly?
Well, see, what I speak when they say NIL, it's just a new term. They've been giving kids this money for years, way before
absolutely,
way before this. And a lot of times now it's not under the table, so now it's taxable income. Mm-hmm. Sit down with a 15 to 18-year-old and let them know that anything over a certain amount is taxable income. If they don't pay the taxes on that, they're already in trouble with the IRS before they even touch the real money.
Absolutely.
I made a prediction a couple of months ago that exactly what he just said. There will be a lot of athletes soon, Lord forbid, I don't want this to happen, but in trouble with the IRS because they don't understand at this young age that the money that they're getting is taxable. So you're getting this money, you're spending this money, you're not educated on how to utilize this money. A lot of pro athletes get in trouble for stuff like that. A lot of our Black Hollywood get in trouble. Wesley Snipes is a prime example. Tax fraud, different tax and stuff like that.
Another thing, just to jump in here real quick, a lot of the times the kids don't even know that money is available to them because the parents shortstop the money. They get it, spend it, but it's in the kid's name. So now the kid don't even know they had $100,000 sitting over here because their parents done spent the money. But it's becoming, that whole NIL space is becoming ridiculous right now. It's really, it was pretty much better off when it was still being done under the table pretty much. Because now, when, like, say for instance, a high-profile kid gets $1 million, if they not in the right position with that $1 million, then what they gonna do with it?
Spend it, blow it, or even worse. What I was not because to think about to even a connection, and we're kind of seeing it now. They're doing it on gambling, and now they're getting an gambling issue because gambling has now become so worldwide legal that we're not frowned upon. These kids are not only, like you said, getting in IRS trouble, they're getting in gambling trouble because they're getting on FanDuel or they're getting on all these quick, because you have this money to blow and you at a college that's giving you already everything. You're getting fed, you got housing, you got all that. So what else I'm going to do? I'm either going to spend it on the main, what they say, women, drugs, or bad stuff, if you're not saving and investing it right. And now gambling has now came into the picture where we have like a Jonte Porter or I think that was the Florida baseball coach that got caught up in a gambling scandal, I believe. I can't remember. So that what you're saying is absolutely right, is the education especially.
I have a question about just because it's a big topic right now, like when these kids get their advance or, get their money for about to be an NBA or when they first get their first check, what do you say to them that want to give their family everything, like houses and cars and stuff like that? Do you advise them and be like, chill out?
I'm sorry, I mean, go ahead.
No, that was basically it. Like, what do you say to them? I mean, they could do whatever their own money. I'm pretty sure you let them know, but you probably want to advise them on, what can happen, or if you do too much. I'm just saying, what is your perspective and what you would say to them when you start
learn how to say no.
That's a hard conversation. Yeah, okay. You have to understand, like, if you give, they're gonna keep coming. Mm-hmm. And it's only a certain amount of people. Like, you can't tell no human being can tell another human being how to take care of their family. Mm-hmm. That's rule number one. However, you got to teach them ways to do that. Okay, if you're giving them money, how often are you giving them money? So why not just put them on your payroll? That way, they got to give them a job. Like,
Yeah, give them a job.
Earn the money. Just don't give it to them, because if you give it to them, you're enabling them. First of all, you're crippling them for life, because they're gonna always feel like, okay, if I ever get in a jam, I'm gonna come to you. No, make them work for it. Set them. That's when you set them. What I do or what we do is set them up with like businesses. Okay, so prime example, a guy wants to take care of his family. Okay, what field is this particular family member have any expertise in or have any desire to be in? Is that a smart investment for you? If that's a smart invest in that person, opposed to just giving it to them. Set them up with a business. Make sure they have a business plan. Make sure they have everything, all the T's crossed and the I's dotted, so that way they're working for this money. And that way you're eventually weaning them off, giving it to them, and now they're your partner. And y'all making money together, so now they don't have to eventually come back to you. But then you're going to have the 13th, 14th, 15th cousin down the line where you're just going to have to tell no.
And also, like, you have to understand your money as well, right? So, like, to deeper dive into your question, a lot of people don't understand. I kind of mentioned this with NIL money, but a lot of people don't understand salary as well. Like, you see these guys, they may sign for a 3-year, $60 million contract. Uncle Sam is coming. So a lot of that contract, a lot of that money really is yours to pay the government. So you can go out here and you can say, oh, I can afford to buy mom this house. And another big thing too, let me also harp on this as well. A lot of people don't put this into perspective. Your money is only coming at a specific time.
Right.
You get game checks based off when you're in season, when you're out of season. So you get that first check, and that first check reads $384,780, and you're thinking, okay, I'm going to go use this money to go buy mom that $750,000 house. I got it coming up. Then you realize, okay, you didn't pay my taxes, so half that money's cut. Then you also realize that after week 17, those checks stop until week 1 of the next year.
Right.
Absolutely.
And another thing is with that, like you said, half of that. So if you're getting $20 million a year, half of that automatically goes to the IRS. Well,
and don't it depends on where you live, right? Because like some people have higher taxes. So California, New York,
40 of that go to 40%
Texas,
of that goes to the
have
IRS.
it.
Then you got the state and local taxes. Then you got this job tax that you got to pay.
Jock
You
tax.
got to pay your agent fee. You got to pay your agent. So by the time you really get your money and you made 20 a year, you really only made $8 or $9 million. If that, you might be down to 6 or 7, depending on the state.
Yep. No, and I think a lot of athletes, a lot of young kids are not understanding that. They just thinking the money is just coming in. They feel like it's unlimited, and they don't realize the money is not unlimited at all.
No,
And
it's not. It's not.
It's
So you definitely have to be smart with what you're doing with your money, and a lot of that is, it's, I would say, a generational fault, because if your parents wasn't taught you what to do with money, how can they teach you what to do with money?
That is correct. Do you think that's why some of these players ask for so much? Is because they want to have more, so that when the taxes do come out, or
you can ask for all the money in the world. I mean, like a team can give Jason Tatum just signed to make $63 million a year. After all the taxes are said and done, he's only making $25 million.
$25 million. Yep.
And that's for the year.
So no matter what, Uncle Sam gonna get his cut.
Try to avoid him and see where you go. They got a place for you.
Oh yes, yes
sir. You can't get around that.
Yes, sir.
That's your Uncle Sam is going to be always your business partner, no matter what you do in life. He's your business partner. He's your business partner. He's our business partner as we go through our day-to-day life. He's Oliver's business partner as well. Look at it.
Yep. He's all of my business partner.
Man,
well said.
He's been a business partner of ours since we started working.
So you also have I think one thing that we've been doing to actively, and I think a big thing that King Will was pretty much generalizing in the conversation is, we have a partner who's actually in another meeting right now. Her name is Ashley Danielle. and we set up these NIL summits, right? And we talk about things like this, and we meet with these parents really young, for high school students, college students, and we meet with these parents and these young athletes, and we give them this type of information. What you do with the information is all on you, right? So it's like we read our Bible, we read or whatever you believe in, you read what you read, and you go on with that information. How you live your life is how you live your life. So we want to make sure, us in general, the people sitting here and the people who work with us, that you're educated on what's going on, right? So we want to make sure you understand and know that you have to be knowledgeable of everything that's going on, because this can really eke away with you. I think 80% of athletes, when they're done playing, go pro within 3 years. It might be shorter than that, 2 years. That's because they don't realize, like, you know, you have to make a living. And I will say this too, that the PAs, the player associations for the NFL, NBA, and MLB, they do a wonderful job at help educating these guys, to help them realize you don't get a game check outside of the regular season.
Not to cut him off or anything. A lot of them symposiums, those rookie symposiums, they teaching this information. You just have so many outside influence. These kids have so many outside influences pulling from them that they be like, no, man, don't worry about that. You gonna play for 10, 15 years. That's not guaranteed. That's not guaranteed. Because what happens if you break your leg and you're not as good as you once were? How long are you gonna be around then? Especially in the NFL. Basketball, maybe you can stick around depending on if you was that guy. Football, you get a serious injury like that, and you're not running the speed, or you can't block, or you can't throw like you once was. It's NFL for a reason, not for long. That's what that stands for. That's not National Football Association League. That's not for long. Once you get hurt and you can't produce like you once produced, they have no problem cutting you. That's why they don't guarantee contracts. Now, baseball, and if you get that Bobby.
Oh, that cat is crazy.
Exactly. So,
do you have any baseball players as
We're working on it, not yet. Coming soon.
And how about women?
Coming soon.
Women's coming soon too. Okay,
Yeah.
Sorry, that was my next question. I just want to know if y'all had any, if y'all were interested in, getting any women clients or anything.
On the NIL, we have worked with some on NIL, but definitely we're getting certified in WNBA very soon, and
nice.
Going to complete our NCAA certification very soon, so we can work with those guys.
I love to hear that. Mm-hmm. That's great.
And just a little insight: women are way more marketable than men.
Of course, because you got especially with the look, the beautifulness, the looks and everything. So yeah, I definitely agree. So, but who's your dream client? Even if they are with someone, who do you have like someone that y'all looking at like, oh, I would love to have them, man or woman, doesn't matter.
Ace Bailey.
Hey, number 2 prospect.
I respect
our partner works with him and his family extensively. She goes down there. She's even at his graduation. She works with him all the time. She's even working with him now at Rutgers. She has frequent conversations with him. And we're trying to see how we can come into the fold some way, somehow. We definitely want to start with a firepower like Ace. That really will get our engine moving.
I like that, and because I said, you knew Paul George, am I correct, or am I not correct?
No.
You knew Paul George, like were you cool with Paul George or something of that, or am I tripping? I'm tripping. Okay, cool.
We're cool with Brandon Miller.
Brandon Miller.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
My bad, y'all. Same type of play. So I was sort of close.
The same guy to me.
Absolutely, definitely the same guy. So we coming out to the end. So before we go, I want to ask if anybody wanted to be an agent watching the show right now. There could be a young kid or maybe my son. What would be some advice to that kid or that young man or young lady to get into the agency world right now?
Stay away. Because that means that's competition for me.
Yes, sir.
That's a beautiful question, man. And I'm going to give you a fine example of that, right? This young man right here reached out to me on LinkedIn and wanted to set up an interview. and we sat down and we talked, really hit it off. And we hit it off
Just like this.
right, and we hit it off. And he reached out to me a few months later and was like, "Hey, you know, can I shadow you? You know, I'm graduating from UNC."
Hold on. Not to cut Rolando off. Tell him about the conversation. Tell him what advice we've given you about it.
Just be passionate. I don't know. Just keep doing what you love, and then be passionate about what you love, and trying to make connections. And then, yeah, the dream's gonna come true at some point.
What he just said was that the last part was the most pivotal, was let's make connections, right? So like having that connecting piece, having that piece is already. I had a friend before I got certified. He's currently an NFL agent. He has some pretty good guys. He told me to go ahead and get my feet wet and get started, right? I wasn't really listening. I was like, I'll just wait till I get certified. One of my biggest mistakes, I should have went ahead and got that relationship started, went ahead and got things started. If you want to get into it, go ahead and start trying to get into it now, right? So now it's wide open. Now you can actually get certified to be an NIL agent and start being repping athletes before you get certified with the PAs. Getting certified with the Player Association is very difficult, extremely difficult on all aspects, right? You got to take a long test. It's a 2-day seminar, meaning like you get a whole day of information the first day. The second day, you get a half day information. You take the exam the second half of the second day. So that's very difficult. Make connections. Oliver reached out. We had a conversation. He reached out a couple months later. We built that relationship. He wanted to come shadow with us. Now he's at NBA Summer League with us, getting very valuable experience. Getting in rooms. Last night he was shoulder to shoulder with Carmelo Anthony, right? So shoulder to shoulder with Allen Houston, shoulder to shoulder with Derek Coleman, NBA legends. So I mean, a few months ago that wasn't possible, but he reached out. We hit it off, had a good relationship. Now he's in these rooms with different individuals, getting very, very valuable experience. So I would say, get into it now. Get started. Reach out to these other agents. Reach out to us. Ask how you can get involved. Boots to the ground is what I like to say.
That sounds
Absolutely.
great. Well said.
That sounds well
Hope you
said.
enjoy Vegas.
I know. Me and Jess said we're gonna be in Summer League Vegas. We're trying to take the show to Vegas next year. We gonna get there. We trying to get it there.
Let's
But
do it.
hey,
do the first interview when you get out here.
yes, sir.
Yes,
yeah, I'm gonna
absolutely.
hold you on that too. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, hey, Ro, Henry, and Oliver from Shannon Management Group, we thank y'all for joining us so much. We thank you for your time and everything and the education you give us, and hopefully see y'all. We interview you in person next year. And
Absolutely,
we
man.
hope.
Thank y'all so
Sure.
much. Any way we can support the podcast, just let us know. We'll do so.
I appreciate
Absolutely.
that.
All right. And this is At the Buzzer.